So when you started going to Stag Run, I know with you being a nurse that a lot of the people like in basically the straight part of your life were assuming about how you got it. Did you think about just let everybody think that it was from a needle stick?
I had thought about it when I got to Stag Run, and like I said, the treatment that I got, but I figured they all assumed anyway that I got it from playing around with somebody that was positive and not knowing it. I did let my heterosexual or my other life community and friends and stuff go with the idea that it was a needle stick, just because really at the time I didn't want to embarrass my wife at the time or my kids and make it harder for them. But then as the years went on, then I really kept feeling more and more like I was being dishonest and disloyal to myself because I wasn't being truthful. And so in 2016, well actually it was before 2016, it was in 2015, late 15, when I started getting this feeling that this is all coming to a head and I can't do this anymore. I can't be leading this double life. And I knew that my relationship with my wife at the time was not great, and that it wasn't being right to her, because she was still a young woman. She had a right to have a husband that could be everything he needed to be to her. And plus, just because I knew eventually everybody would find out, especially my kids, if they found out from, Joe down the street rather than hear it from me. I approached her and we tried different things. We tried an open relationship. We thought we could do that because we went to a counselor and he suggested that. That didn't work because every time that I left to go to Home Depot or go to the grocery, she thought I was going out to an orgy. And every time that she left to go to work, she thought I was having an orgy at the house. And so that just didn't work. But it did open her eyes to a lot, because he had us do a lot of reading. And because we both were raised in the church and she was just, hellfire and brimstone, you sinned against the Bible and God and all this. And he opened her eyes, and by opening her eyes, it also helped her one sister that's just a real ass, that from the minute that she told her, she was like, you're putting parts with other parts that don't belong. At that moment, I knew at least I had a good support person, even though she was furious at the moment. So like I said, we tried that didn't work, and then he wanted us to get together with some of my gay couple friends, and we did that, and actually that went pretty well. But then I knew it wasn't going to work, and then the summer of 16, I had met you, and from the moment that, I've told you this before, from the moment I met you, I knew that you were my soulmate, and that whether we ever got together and were a couple, you were my soulmate. And then I had talked to her, and we had this, we had that huge cruise planned in 17, and we had like 3 different families going with us. So we, kept the charade up until that was over. Not meaning to, I hurt her more on that cruise by being the perfect heterosexual husband, and because I wanted her to have the best last memory of our marriage and relationship that she could have. In turn, it made her feel like that everything was perfect and that we were on a good path now. And then when we got back, I said, well, I guess I'll go look for an apartment now in Florida. That was probably harder on her that moment than whenever I had to tell her I had HIV. I thought I was doing something good, and it kind of backfired. She's later on said that she was glad that I did that, because if I hadn't, she'd had a miserable cruise and miserable last moments. And I feel like me and her are a pretty good example of a heterosexual woman and a gay man that have been married. We can still make it work. We're still good partners. I help her out with things, and we talked about with my grandson, scheduling things, we give and take. She's needed help on something, or I've needed this or that. She's been there, and I really feel like if it even came down to health issues or something, and she needed to be taken somewhere, or you weren't around and able to take me, I really know that I could call on her and say, I need to get here, and she would be right there.